Alright, going to cover my base, what I'm using, whose builds I'm using, if I'm using somebody else's builds, so people stop asking. Homebase, robot smoke. I'll put a link up in the description. It's a cheap but powerful Homebase. Got a little bit of block off down here. This isn't really going to be something to build off of, but more or less just get an idea of what I'm using. Some block off up here. Oops. And then we have what we call some J block right here. Block off on this side, some B block. And then right here we have there's two wall launchers here. Yep, magic. That's the nice thing about it. Different timings. Floor launcher. And then I add a little bit of trap because some of the assassin husks try to get to me because of my AFK point over there. So it takes care of any little stragglers that come through. So what do? That's for the ones that usually spawn up here. The rest, they spawn down here. They're not going to come up here. They go around over here. And they get knocked off. Simple as that. It covers north, so east. Wall launcher here, knock them off. Little block off for the rare spawn. Here's where he got pretty cool with some of his block off, the cheap block off. So basically, wherever you see the floor freeze is usually flinger, where the flingers will sit and throw. But anyways, the way he's got it set up is they come up here, they try to, some of them will path over here and they'll get booped over. Anyways, they'll come up here, they get knocked off. They can't come back up because of the block off. Some will get knocked down here. They can't come up this natural ramp because of this J block. So I added this in there because they were breaking stuff over here. This will path some of them up here. The other ones that get knocked down will come over here. They can't go up here, the home base, because of the block off. So they'll keep going. Drop down here. The only way path up, the only path back way, the only path back up is over here. Geyser, boom, nothing gets through. They just sit here. Some fall down here. This is an old one. Well, geyser isn't needed, but I left it since I've had it for so long. That's home base. Again, I'll put the link to Robot's channel. I don't know if he has this up or not, but I'm sure either he can cover it or I can cover it if he lets me. Really amazing content creator. Just the idea is pretty cool. Here we got some cheese going on, so we got some drop traps to slow them down, and then some of my favorite traps, floor freeze. So, I mean, most of the time they don't even make it this far. The only thing that's going to get all the way up in here is going to be smashers and the shielders usually. Anything, this is recycle, some damage. Keep pushing them back with the drop traps, and then anything that gets through, they're still going to get pummeled backwards. And then final protection is right here. Loop back, repeat. Sometimes shielders get through. The right huskies. That's okay though. Not all the time, but every once in a while. Smashers will get through and they'll just start charging at the amp. Or they will take the smasher bridge, come up here, and then run off. That's a look at one side. Block off up here is just some J block up here for added protection layer. So when they see it, they know that there's block off up there. And this is in our matrix info. This block off right here. So nothing will walk up here. The only path that they have to naturally take is this right here. Floor freeze underneath the map. So the only way they can get up is right here. Floor freeze will slow anything down right here. Got a little some damage right here. It's usually for riot husks. Right here, slow them down a little bit. Same idea here. Slowing them down. And the pathing right here, they have one path. They won't mess with any of this over here. And then on this side, whoops, just a little bit of block off layers just to stop anything from wanting to come this way. This is J block mixed with some failed V block. Using some terminology here. It's all in our Discord. If you want to look in the matrix info, that way I don't have to explain each one. This was mainly in case flingers made it around here. Nothing ever comes over here, so this really is useless, but here it is. We got ridge. Yeah, so that block off on that side is if they try to come around this way. They managed to do it. This is enough to stop them. This J block right here. And yeah, got a little carried away with this. Just feeling it, you know what I'm saying? Grr. Grr. Shifting that lava bomb was a pain in the ass, just in case you're curious. I know you're wondering. Alright, let's go to Wamp. Check it out, check it out. Wamp is overkill. You could literally just do this J block right here. Add some flinger protection, whether it's floor freeze or flinger shield, and then path them however you want. I'm kind of using two. For some reason, the cones here, so if you were to use V-block, smashers would spawn, if they spawn and aggro this, they don't aggro the cones for some reason, so just kind of rolled with that. And this one's mine. I was just experimenting with different stuff. Again, it's I got carried away with it, but it works. So right now, if you look at any of the videos I have, they kind of, if I'm watching it, they'll come up here, some of them, they'll stop, they'll get confused, they might go over here, then they'll turn over here, or vice versa. But they're not going to get far. They don't get past like 3 tiles in. They're just going to get knocked down. Floor spikes, floor freeze underneath. They're not going to get past like right here. The other side, I even stopped trapping on the other side. They don't get past right here. The reason why, I mean, they might not even get past like right here on both sides sometimes, because they're confused on which path to take, which one's the fastest for them. Initially I had that one over there, but they kept breaking my block off down here. So I figured I would try one on this side to see what happened, and I kind of liked how it confuses them, so that's what I'm working with right now. And this is just really for the mini boss to come. He's got a path to go. Come over here. This is Mitch Rob, Dam Visions, Smash Bridge, TP Loop. It works great. Then I added some tire drops for flingers. The one that wants to throw right here, or lobbers right here. And then we got some that are on crack that'll, excuse me, throw from right here until they die from a lava bomb or something. Solid build. Overboard, yep. Alright, let's go over Valley real quick. You can get it in depth on this Valley if you watch Robot Smoke's Immortal Valley. I've had this hit on 16, 16 and 26 quite a few times, no issues. Basically, there's no walls up here besides what is targetable and what we can go without having from the UFO destroying. Just like on these four corners, you'll see we have tar pits. Underneath the tar pits, there's freezes. Inside here, it's all full of damage. They're just gonna get knocked back. There's different timing wall darts, different timing wall launchers. If they're dinos, same principle, just different timing. So what happens is at first, since this is blocked off, is all the husks are gonna path over here. I added some tire drops and just some floor freeze to slow them down. Tire drops would work. You don't even need any of this really, but I added it and just kept it. Sound walls aren't really needed. Propane usually, I mean, if they do make it up here, or when they do, they die pretty quick before they get a chance to throw. It's not like they're really going to do damage to anything anyways. And then on wave 25, when the UFO hits, this is going to break. Smashers can phase up here through 15 or any of the other random waves. If you notice, the wall darts are spaced out in all the ranges and all the areas that flingers will throw, so they will die. They will die. And up here, for when they do land, these zappers will go off. Sometimes they'll try to hit right here. That's why I put hills attached, retractable floor spikes. These are just spiral staircases, dev builds that we're just messing around with and just left them. They're not really needed at all. It just throws off the trajectory sometimes for where the flingers are thrown from. And we have, let's say, an average of 8 reverse walls here. So this is for any flingers on random waves. We can lose some walls and still be fine. And what I mean by the trajectory is, like, normally there's spots where they'll throw like right here and stuff, but since it's a little bit higher, it puts them off. They want to go different angles and stuff. All the angles are covered, so they'll come up here and they're going to get hit by wall darts non-stop until they die. When all this is blown up, they path both sides. Then using some dev builds, as the UFO will target each one individually. Instead of blowing up a 3x3, you got one target right here, which is nice. Yay. We'll go over beach. Block off is for valley as well. It just stops anything from coming up here. Simple. Beach is pretty simple. It's nachos. Didn't really change much on this at all, really, from his original. Got a little cheese in here with the gas traps. I'm sorry, the floor freeze traps, in case anything breaks this, but they don't. These two walls are for flinger protection, so we don't have to have a lava shield here. Missing some traps here. That's pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool, you know. Things happen. I'm not going to go over this too much in depth. If you're interested in this build, you could use nachos. There's so much damage in here, it's ridiculous. Like from all corners. Just getting hit non-stop. Alternating timing on the wall dinos. Wall darts, I use alternate timing until I get to about right here. And from right here, it's just all crit build all the way through. This is some cheap block off instead of using nachos, just to save some structures. J block. And then one piece here just so us can't skirt across here. I've found most of this to be pointless. I've left it up for now, but due to the spawns, most of this will break depending on where the spawn. If there's one here, it'll break this wall here. I did a different variation than nachos. There's a spawn here, it breaks this wall here. So eventually this breaks depending on how the spawns, but I mean, they'll just jump off either way. If none of this is here, they will just jump off because it's less than 4 tiles high. Walk over here. This is a little different than what Nacho has. This is from, you know, some traps, different ways to place traps in our trap playground. They're just gonna get beat back down. They come up here, get nuked, and then repeat. They make it that far. They're gonna get hit here, pummeled with some balls. Knocked off here, and this is gonna knock off any smashers or anything. Yeah, lots of damage. And his dancer, it works most of the time. When it does fail, depending on the, I don't know which modifier it is. I forgot to write it down. There's a modifier that mini boss doesn't care, man. He just comes in here and eats it up, just fresh food. So he'll break this, then he'll come over here, break this block off, break all this, and then eventually the smashers start aggroing because their path is easier to get to through the amp, or they have an easier path, and then the husks follow behind. But the majority of the time, we don't have that issue. Forgot to show my Wamp. This is part of the block off. It's nothing fancy. It's just I needed something over here. Just trying rotated walls, see if they're reverse walls, if there's any difference. I haven't really noticed anything. So yeah, pretty much nachos with some funky traps. Go over to lava. Now I just have this blocked off over here. Flingers. Am I right? They suck. I used to have this for flingers. Well, this still is comes in use sometimes. Flingers will come from way over there somehow, normally for beach, and they'll try to get up through here. Stops all that. So this is based off nachos as well, except for have some added drop traps. You don't need as many as I do. 2 rows. Whenever you see drop traps, the max you really need probably is 2 rows, and that's good. If you have the structures, add more. Do you? You do you, boo. I'm just saying. I wanted some extra security in there. So if anything comes up here, they're getting pushed back. Those are healing. Sometimes the sound wall will knock blasters in here. There's some damage. Dinos in here. Got some funky traps. Yeah, I know you like them. I didn't like the 8,000 different rainbow sound walls that Nacho uses. Excellent. Yep. This can all be found by watching his videos. Nacho_SP. And this part over here is from Robot Smoke. So the smashers will come over here and they'll run right through here and die, or they'll come over here, go through, die. Same with the mini bosses. Most of the time. His is fully blocked off. It probably would be better to do that than to have it how mine is. It works. I have some issues every once in a while. I used to have 2 bridges, one over here and one over there, and smashers would go over there and mini bosses would come over here for whatever reason. With the nachos though, I did have to add some block off depending on where your AFK spot is. Mine's right here. I did have some issues with smashers going through, so I just would add like a layer or 2 and then test it for a while, and if I needed to change anything, I did. So right now this is holding up from what changes I did add, which is just a couple layers of block off. You can add and remove block off. I mean, it just depends on your AFK spot and what's going towards you. This just push anything that comes up here. Same with the drop traps. Nothing hits right here. I just have that for my own mental health. And then if anything comes down here, you can drop the sound or propanes if they have them. This is meant just to finish anything off. Not needed really at all. For this simple reason, come over here. Ooh. The only thing that might stick over here is a flinger that I've had. So I put a freeze there and they'll stop. They just came right here, stood here and started throwing. So no issues besides that. Yeah, pretty much covers everything over there. Hill. Same thing going on here. Got a little crazy with the drop traps. Same with the hills. We're gonna keep pushing them back. Anything gets pushed in here, they're gonna die. Rainbow sound walls, and then pummeled with damage. Nacho covers some of it. Like there's some hotspot walls right here, but this is also a hotspot wall. This one and this one. And when I say hotspot, I mean smashers are going to come up here and they're going to charge and break this wall, and I think this wall as well. It doesn't matter whenever they make it that far, because we have a smasher bridge and everything else. Nothing's going to make it that far. There's so much damage up here. So they have a couple ways to get up here, and then we just have smashers are going to run through here. Mini bosses will come over here and teleport over. Some of this block off isn't needed. You could use a lot of this block off. You could cheapen up if you look through our matrix. These cones aren't needed. You could use some like bumper block or RBB. I'm using all these terms you probably have no clue what are, but if you look in our matrix info or the matrix, there's videos, there's examples, there's people that can help explain what some of this stuff does or what terminology means. For me, I got tired of when they adjusted the assassin builds, it was a pain to adjust everything every time that Epic caught on to something and they were making fixes. So this is just a solid build for me that I'm not going to change. On my alts, I'll mess around. That's a lie. I'm going to keep this for now. My alts, yeah, I'll mess around. Here, just sound walls. Should be a sound wall here. But everything, there's a spawn down here. Get the propane to drop, get a little damage. I usually finished off around here unless you're in 4-party. Just keep going. Actually, in case anything comes over here, I'm gonna use okay. This is just alternating timing for all of the wall dinos, and then yes, these are all alternate as well for crit build, and then a reload for the wall darts, just so timing's different. And then on Nachos, he was worried about the CC count. That was reverted, so I mean you could put alt freeze all the way down, and then tar pits down here, and then you can't have anything right here. This is hotspots as well. But this block off could definitely be changed cheaper. I did have issues at first with smashers. I did add another layer up front, or is it up front or behind? But it could be modified back here so they see a different layer. So that said, again, that was Nachos. Just little modifications. Go over the bridge. Yeah, some drop traps over here too. I've been using this bridge for a long time. Solid. If you get hit on 16 and 26, they'll eat up. I'll show you what they tear up, but it still makes it with no damage most of the time. Because they sit and get pushed back with the traps, drop traps, and the floor freeze. This isn't needed, but I just put it there because I was trying to figure out where they were breaking through, so I put up here. I had some assassins trying to get to me this is when I was AFK in the valley. But now that I'm over the middle, I don't need it. Just leaving it there because I can. Here, I don't know if Nacho has it or not, but I put save some Dura on the wall launchers, some drop traps, and the majority over here we're having the propane drop, freezing, and they're just gonna sit in here most of the time. Only thing that's gonna get through here are the bigger husks, so the fatties and the riot husks, and they're just gonna get destroyed. If they do make it, they're probably going to make it to right about here. Again, if you're going off Nacho's video, you can change, like I'm using floor freeze. Why not? You get the increase in damage once they're frozen. Freezes them. So it's a win all around. Some tar pits up here just to finish off anything. But even the smashers, even on wave 30 4-player difficulty, most of them will die in here. And then what I've done for the most part is anywhere where the big meteorites hit, I've covered with cones. There's a couple other spots that I've missed, but for the most part, these are important areas in the tunnel. little bit of protection, you know what I'm saying? Smasher Bridge, TP loop works really good. I would not recommend having that wall dart there, because if you get one that has a damage mini pulse, it's going to damage your amp for a mini boss. I don't know what I was thinking. And then again, I put some cones for extra protection, even though there is 2 layers here, where I watch the big meteor hit. And that way I don't have to worry about this breaking. It does every once in a while, because maybe it's a random one that hits somewhere I didn't notice. Excuse me. Random stuff happens. This is an RNG game, but for the most part, it holds up very, very well. Mini bosses, if they do come up here, right? And I was saying the smashers, if they do make it up here, and mini bosses, they don't have to bridge. They will break all of this up here. They'll break down here. Then they'll come over here. They'll break all this. Then they'll start on the stuff on the inside. Meanwhile, everything is still going through the tunnels and dies. So it is all good. Alright. Let's go over to pit. Robot smokes. Awesome pit. Slow them down with some drop traps, floor freeze, getting rid of some propane with some walls. And I learned a long time ago from Robot Smoke, who learned from my streams, I believe, that we know in the tornado that most of the time the wall traps don't remove. The floor traps do. All floor traps besides floor launchers. So take advantage of them. So that's what we have here, just a recycling system. Go back up here, get knocked back, come forward, continue the pattern. The only thing I've added, there's a tar pit under this one. Just damage for shielders. Shielders were getting through, and they were coming through. They were somehow coming around, skirting this, going down, doing some damage, but this takes care of most of it. Sometimes Smasher will take out some of these walls. It's all good though, because these are just target walls. If they happen to go down, it's not the end of the world. The main thing is the floor launchers, knocking things over. Some wall launchers to knock them out and down. This one isn't needed, but there's a flinger spot right here, so I just put a floor freezer. And this, I just covered this up because sometimes the smashers or other husks might go in here, and that is all a target area for them. So if they're in here, they just stand there. Anything comes over here, drops down, it's gonna get launched up. This is above 4 tiles, so they should just stay in here. I really don't have too many things that make it that far. In here, what I was talking about, like this is all a target. It's the closest thing to the amp. They can come charge at this all they want. It's not going to hurt anything. They're just going to get stuck in the geyser. Sometimes the smashers are dumb though. They might charge from here. They might come over here and charge. This could be changed up a little bit, but I'm happy with how it's working right now. It's past 16 and 26, and it's normal waves with no damage. 4-player. You get an RNG though. We'll give it that. Let's see. The last one we gotta cover is Devil. Trying to do this quick because I can talk forever about little dinky stuff. This is Robot Smokes. I just added some block off. I had flingers that would magically appear in here, so. And I really don't have too much to me things that make it that far. The main thing is the floor launchers. The floor launchers just some block off. But basically, simple principle. I mean, you're gonna stall them, and they won't come up here because of this. If anything does manage to get up here, it's gonna get hit, froze, knocked up, over, and just hit back and hit back. And I'm missing some of my cheese right here. I came up here to make fixes one time and I ended up breaking half of it. So yeah. Remember, orientation is important on the drop traps where the muffler is. We got some more fancy traps here. Anything that path this way is going to get froze. And they're going to get hit. Let the cycle continue. We want all the propane to drop. The thing that makes it this far should get knocked in here. All the riot husks or anything. Smashers will come here. Now I left this target wall up. It'll get broke. I wanted the smashers to come up here. Usually I'll have one that likes to roam around a little bit, but this gives him something to hit first, and then he'll just keep charging the amp. Anything else that makes it this far or along this way is just going to get knocked back and recycled. Underneath the amp, right here, on all the corners, we have some tar pits underneath. You don't need them, but it's nice if you know how. I've said to those that want to try this is pretty advanced. Some of these traps are underneath the map. This side, got some J block. If I do break past that, we're just gonna get knocked back. Knock back. You notice a pattern here, huh? Floor freeze and drop traps. It works. You could actually use, instead of a wall launcher, a 4x wall light, and really just have the smasher just keep going back and forth until they are dead. The wall launchers are less consistent for knocking them in all the way. My experience anyways. Floor freeze right here. All the critical paths, we're slowing them down. But again, the only thing that may make it up are the riot husks. That's pretty much it. Covered the block off. There's lots of different block off to use. Different styles. You can make things cheaper, more expensive, whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? Robot Smoke's design over here for this TP loop from the mini boss, and these little floor freezes facing this way. The smashers, when they charge, if they do have a free, let's say they ran right here, they're gonna freeze. It's kind of funny to watch. Same thing over here. Or if they walk on these corners, they're gonna stick. Excuse me. They're gonna stick, and then they'll turn towards the amp. They're like resets their AI to get back on charging the amp. So we'll run this way, hit the tar pit, turn, and then start all over again. That is it. That is what I'm currently using. My home base. Since assassin builds have been nerfed. Yeah, let's say they've been nerfed. There's a way to do them that's not really consistent. I'm sure there's more ways out there, but people are trying to be quiet about it because Epic's patching more things. But in my opinion, they're just patching things that involve AFKing missions. So when dummies use it in pubs, that's what happens. So yeah, if you have any questions about the builds, let me know. Tutorials, I think if we're going to do anything, it should be less advanced. Simple builds, maybe some damage, maybe some recycling geyser. As this does get kind of complicated. So yeah, check out White Walker's Discord. If you have any questions, leave some comments. There you go. We've at it. Oh, I'll show you my AFK real quick. And just run normally. And just like the main thing I wanted to focus on was being lined up with as many amps as possible. So here I'm lined up with Lava, Bridge. I am in line with Devil, Bridge, Wamp, somewhat for Beach. It doesn't matter for this valley. I'm telling you, that is one incredible build by Robot. So I can run or come over here. Oops. I usually play as a ninja, so it's not an issue. Alright, I hope that helps. Peace.